and it's not looking good for Trump anyways. Because, I mean, I'm going to read this part of this article really quick. That adds on to it's like the Border Patrol reported arrests are down 25% since Biden announced the new asylum restrictions. So the number of arrests of Border Patrol agents of people illegally crossing into the United States fell in May to the third lowest of any month during Biden's presidency. While preliminary figures released Thursday show encounters with migrants falling even more in the roughly 2 weeks since the president announced the new rule restricting asylum. So basically all that stuff Trump told y'all not to do, Biden went and did it himself. Now Trump's sitting there with egg on his face.
It's funny, man, that they said 25%.
That's huge.
Drop. That's huge. I mean, and it's also probably with more cooperation from Mexico.
Yeah.
Because at first Mexico's like, man, we don't care. We're letting everybody up in this motherfucker. We don't give a fuck
who,
what, where, when, or why. We letting everybody up in here. If y'all don't give us something, we letting them in the country. And so I think there's probably been more cooperation because they understand right now with the way Trump is talking when he's talked about sending the military into Mexico to fight to combat cartels. You know what I mean? Mexico's like, man, that's war.
That's
You're
war.
asking us, to start a war with us pretty much. So do I want this weird motherfucker? Because basically he's going to be starting deporting people. Mexico is doing good for itself right now. They don't want an influx of 30 million people.
You know how bad it would be here if Donald Trump sent in the army to go fight the cartels? So many people would be coming off drugs and dying and committing crimes to get their drugs. We have a smooth operation going here. All right. That a lot of people do not realize. America likes to get high.
That's real deal.
That's real deal shit. They like to get high. And you don't want to mess up that balance of people getting high. You may see the people wigging out on, what do you think's going to happen to all the people leaning on the streets, not bothering you? All right. When they can't get the lean on, they're going to get the armed robbery and mean on.
Bigger than that, man, it'll destroy the economy, man. There's a lot of people who like
the police won't have nothing to do in the black community.
Period. And that goes for jails. Like probably 80% of the people who are in jail for drug crimes.
Oh yeah, dead ass.
Some type of drug crime, whether it's just possession, addiction, you know what I'm saying? Like theft, all that. That's what most of the people who are in jail for. We're paying $40,000 a year.
Cops gonna start arresting people for jaywalking on the sidewalk.
Yeah, we're paying $40,000 a year for somebody to sit in jail who has a drug problem. We could put into, we could probably put into rehab. Who probably didn't even commit any kind of a violent crime, a petty crime. I'd rather put him on a work crew somewhere.
No, I went to court one day to go show support for a friend, and everybody in there was for drug charges. They had like possession. And I go outside, talk to the sheriff. I'm like, yo, man, I've been in here a couple years. Where are all the criminals? And he looked me in the face. He said, look, man, 80% of the people in jail right now are in there because they're on drugs. It's the only reason, because they got caught with dope.
I think if Portland would have done their law a little bit differently, had they not just been like, we're going to just decriminalize it, had they done something where, okay, we're not just straight up decriminalize it, we may make it so that you have to go through programs.
Yeah, exactly. If they caught you, like, we caught you high, you have to go into treatment.
If you mess up this treatment, then you go into jail or something like that.
Yeah.
Like something where they got to be a consequence. Because look at California. They took away all the consequences for robbing. Now they're kicking in every motherfucking jeweler's door they can get into. They're robbing people in broad daylight. You can't do that. I'm not that kind of progressive. I'm not the kind of progressive who's going to lie to you and be like, there should be decriminalize everything. I don't believe that.
Well, let's keep it real. Why they did that? Because the demographic of criminals and drug addicts had changed. Before, when it was black folks in the 80s and the early 90s, hey, lock them all up, throw away the key. Now the demographic is your cousins and your sisters robbing your farm homes and stealing your cars. They want to make sure you don't have to do much time. And they got upset because they had to give Tommy the same time they given Tyrone because they got mandatory minimums.
That felony. And
so that's why your criminals were running crazy.
How was it a second? Was it what they call there's three prongs when it comes to like drug crimes, right? It was a third tier. What was it? I know marijuana was a first.
Marijuana was up there. Oh, you mean the category, not the scheduling.
So yeah, schedule. You know what I'm saying? I know marijuana was a Schedule 1. That's like the worst one.
Well, marijuana was Schedule 1 because the lumber industry realized that hemp could be used for a lot of stuff.
Marijuana.
And so that's the only reason they made marijuana legal. Because they lobbied for it.
Fentanyl was like what?
So the second. It was on the second. It's still there. It's still there.
This thing killed more people than the plague. I'm fucking with you, but seriously though, it seems like
no, it has. It has killed more people than the plague.
What I mean? But marijuana, I don't know anybody who died from marijuana overdose.
I've heard of one guy in the jail, but that was weird how he got the weed. You could die from like the oils, but no one's smoking. You know what's happening when you smoke a bunch of weed? You eat a bunch of snacks and you pass out.
I don't think it was. I think it had to be laced.
It was like synthetic weed or some shit like that.
It must have been something else, man, because there is no way in hell you die from the weed. But yeah.